Hi, this is a podcast. Welcome. I'm Zeeshan Azad. Today we're being joined by my sister, Afreen Azad. Afreen, please introduce yourself.
Hi, as Zeeshan said, my name's Afreen. We're actually siblings, and yeah, just trying out something new.
Um, I wanted to do a podcast with Afreen. I had this idea, this is something we could do, and I asked her if she would be interested, and then she thought about it for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, made me nervous, but yeah, it sounded intriguing.
And then she came up with the idea for episode one. Actually, do you want to tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, sure. So, how it happened was, as Ishan mentioned, he had pinged me a while back for, hey, do you want to do a podcast together? We're siblings, we talk a lot. So he's like, maybe we should try recording a podcast, and why don't you think of some ideas? Then one day out of the blue, he pinged, he's like, have you thought any more about the podcast idea? And I had actually just 5 minutes ago hung up the phone with our parents. So I told him that I just spent 1.5 hours teaching our parents how to set up their smart TV and use YouTube on it. So I think there's something there. That is something we could look into. And yeah, the more we talked about it, the more we realized that, yeah, there are things that our parents, like growing up, our parents taught us so many things, like countless number of things. And as we start growing up, there are things we start teaching them as well. And we thought it was an intriguing subject, and just to talk about things we try to teach our parents. So here we are, right, Zee?
Yeah, and there are other people that have had similar experiences of like trying to teach their parents something new. Afreen actually conducted a survey on her Instagram, and we got some interesting responses. Share some of them with us, please.
The question was, what are some things that you try to teach your parents? And the answers, we realized there are some specific themes, and I guess all households we operate similarly. A big theme was technology, and like mobile phone apps, holding the phone in such a way that we can see your faces while FaceTiming was one of the answers I got. Because I think the parents have a tendency to hold phone here instead of actually like that. And another good one that I got, and I spoke to my friend about this because I found it so interesting, was because of the current situation. I have a friend, let me start there. I have a friend whose both her parents are teachers. So given the current situation, they have to figure out ways to still teach, but while staying at home. So she spent hours trying to teach them how to use Zoom and Microsoft PowerPoint. So to be able to create presentations and then share your screen and, teach over Zoom calls. So it was interesting. Like, she was like, when I told her the story about spending 1.5 hours getting our parents to set up their smart TV, she talked about, did you lose patience with them? Because she talked about how there were times that she got so frustrated, like, I just taught you this. And yeah, it's definitely like, as kids, we ask our parents, what is that about 10,000 times a day. And now how tables have turned, and we have to be like, okay, they were patient with us, we must be patient with them when we try to teach them about technology. Yeah, I found that definitely. She did tell me that there were several times that she had to take deep breaths and tell herself that, no, I cannot get frustrated. No, it's not right. It's okay. It's new for them. It's tough for them. They generally don't understand or have forgotten what you've told them. It's not like they're trying to irritate you, right? So it's something you have to remember. Then, social media apps like Instagram, Twitter, all these were responses that we got. So, like, Instagram, I feel like, is an interesting medium. What do you think?
I have mixed feelings about Instagram. because I feel like with Instagram, the people that are like have more visually appealing lives do better on Instagram, and there's like a bit of like that social dynamic on Instagram of like, well, it used to be a lot about likes. Now it's like, you know, with the likes count gone, I think it's less about that now.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's all right. I'm okay with Instagram personally.
A lot of misinformation is spread through channels like WhatsApp and Facebook. So for that reason alone, I feel like Instagram is a better social media platform. At least I find Instagram less, I don't know, less negative. I don't know how to express that clearly, but it's less polarizing. It's about people. It's about things like people we know have done, or know, being friend circle wise or even celebrity wise. It's about photographs and videos. It's not about opinions as such, right?
I think that even on Instagram, it's possible to get political, and there are like political pages. Like I know I follow a couple of political pages that I agree with politically, because it gives me like news, but from an angle that's kind of progressive. Like I feel like with a lot of news in India, you have to like read what all happened and then kind of build a story from there. Whereas something on Instagram, so a page that I follow that I won't mention the name of because I don't want to reveal my kind of politics, it just gives me like, this happened, and because you know this guy, right, in politics, yeah, well, he did this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. So it's like one that's actually like one of my sources of memes, that page.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't
And
do a lot of Instagram like meme type page following. I think I follow my friends and a few celebrities who I don't find very annoying.
you find celebrities annoying on Instagram?
Some of them, yeah. I again.
Care to name names?
No, no.
All right. And then something I wanted to say about WhatsApp forwards. I think that like WhatsApp forwards, you know, being a problem with fake news and some of those issues is like primarily, like far as I'm aware, that's a big problem in India. I don't know if like, you know, other countries that are using WhatsApp are having the same problem to the same extent.
No, not as much as India. India has actually posed a big problem for WhatsApp as a company. Facebook owns WhatsApp. So they have had to put in measures specifically for India. For example, initially, this was, I think, several months ago that they added a restriction to how many groups you can forward a message to at one point of time. Initially, there was no restriction. They added a restriction a few months ago that you can forward a message or video, whatever, to maximum 5 like groups or people at a time. Now I read a news article, I don't know if it has come into effect yet, that they were going to restrict it to only one at a time. Like you can forward a message to only one person or a group at a time. The reason they've had to put these restrictions is because fake news or misleading information is such a big problem in India. And it has far-reaching repercussions, especially like given the current situation we are in, right? With coronavirus, COVID-19. I have read and seen so many incorrect articles, information, like just WhatsApp forwards. It's just text. There is no link to a reputed news site. There's no link to WHO or CDC or any of these organizations that put out correct information. Things like drinking hot water will kill coronavirus. Did you see that one? The one about point a blow dryer in your face to heat up the nasal passages so that you can kill coronavirus?
Oh no.
Yes, that was a real article that went viral on Facebook and then WhatsApp. And this is...
Ouch.
It's really sad, and you're messing with people's health and lives, right? Because people will start believing that, as long as I drink hot water every day and take steam, I'm immune. I won't get coronavirus. No, that's not
there was
true.
also another one about chicken that got very viral in India.
And it started so long ago. The chicken...
Yeah, people basically started saying that eating chicken is bad. It'll give you COVID-19.
You can have your own opinion about vegetarian, non-vegetarian, that's totally fair, but chicken had nothing to do with COVID-19. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. This news started coming in late January and early February or something, that don't eat meat because usse coronavirus phailta hai. It is not true. As long as you cook anything properly, COVID cannot survive in high temperatures. Yeah, fake news is a big problem. Although I have to say, I am impressed with our mom these days, because she has started cross-checking everything she reads on WhatsApp. Like, I am really impressed. There have been several times when I've called her and she has started her call with me with, okay, but first tell me, pehle batao, like, is this true? The hot water thing she checked, the chicken thing she checked, because she hears it so many times, it's tough to just ignore it, right? If you see the same information come to you over and over again, it's tough to ignore it. So she has checked with me on multiple times on the same piece of news, the hot water thing, for example. Yeah. So I'm proud of my mom that way. She's learned this. Yeah.
Like a few years ago, like a lot of companies in India made it easier for people to have access to mobile data, and I think that had like a good impact and a bad impact. Mostly good, because like internet is facility and it was like a new facility to a lot of people in India. Specifically a company called Jio got very popular for having like really cheap data plans and things like that. The good aspect, obviously, facility, information, awareness, but the bad aspect of it, well, in the fake news thing is bad, but some of it isn't like the gray zone. It's just like bad memes. There is a lot of like YouTube videos that are like poorly made vlogs, or like shitty opinion pieces, or just like poorly made videos like with a lot of text on them, or bad camera angles, things like that. Also find I have a name for it. I call it Ghati internet, and Ghati sort of means like I don't know what Ghati means. Ghat means valley, right? Or
Ghat,
what does
pani
Ghat mean?
ka
Give
ghat.
me 1 second, please.
Ghat pani pe hota hai. Yeah, by the side of the water.
Okay, the side of a river or a lake. Okay, Ghat means side of a river or a lake, and basically it's like where civilization starts, and so it has like a very off the land quality, and so Ghati internet is like off the land.
Like Ghati language and Ghati dance, that way Ghati
Yeah,
internet.
yeah. Some really cool things have come out of Ghati internet too, though. Like some people like figured it out eventually. I think that we have an easier, like the younger, slightly younger generation. I don't know age group, under 30 maybe, under 40. It's not really an age group thing as much as like how much are you with the internet age sort of thing. So like people that got with the internet age times, for example, know their way around things like Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video. Now many of us take like facilities like this for granted, like to be able to navigate through some of this stuff, but a lot of our parents in India don't it doesn't come so easily to them, like connecting HDMIs, connecting to Wi-Fi routers through a TV, things like that. And the reason for that, as far as I could tell, was that I was interested in tech because I was interested in video games, and I got interested in TV shows. I watched Friends on Afreen's laptop, and then some other friend recommended The Office, some other friend recommended some other English movie. I learned about torrenting, got interested, and then when I discovered Netflix, I was there.
My god, running torrents online to download movies. Oh my god.
Which we never did. Of course, we
No.
heard about other people doing things like
Yeah.
this, and we were shocked. On a serious note, though, I don't torrent anymore. Like
No,
when I
yeah.
learned about piracy and things like that, and now because I have like access to Netflix, Prime Video, Hotstar, I decided to like pay my dues, because also I'm trying to earn money from industries like that now.
It was exactly because of what you mentioned. Once you started studying filmmaking, I stopped like not what I stopped watching media not right the correct way. I now rent movies on Amazon Prime if I want to watch them, or YouTube or Google Play. Like there are so many mediums that offer movies, so I go through all of them, find the cheapest place it's available, and then rent movies. Of course, thanks to Netflix and Hulu. Oh my God, so many monthly subscription bills. But Netflix, Hulu, Hotstar, in the US as well. Yeah, Amazon Prime thankfully is included with Prime membership. They have a good collection.
Yeah. And I think like there's like a very big advantage to like using streaming platforms as opposed to cable TV, because with streaming platforms you decide per like show which show you're going to watch. So it can be very tailored to your interests, which cable TV offers to some extent, but it's totally not comparable. On Netflix, I could go into the subsection of a subject and find a documentary there. I could go into a genre and then a subgenre and find shows I like and can explore in like any direction. It's like totally different. And it's not just Netflix anymore. There are like a few of these streaming services. One of the things that I tried to do with our mom was I tried to introduce her to Stranger Things, which is a show on one of these platforms. Why did I pick Stranger Things? I don't know. Stranger Things, it's like, it's complex, but it reveals itself slowly and kind of simply and cleanly. It's like, I think if someone's paying attention, it's easy to follow. And specifically in the context of like, with introducing it to our mother, what I was hoping for is for her to get a sense of like what American culture is like a little bit, how the children interact with each other there, and what their surroundings looks like, surroundings look like, because I think it brings about like a sense of like global awareness, which was important to me. So I suggested that to my mom.
No, okay. So guys, actually Z didn't tell me. Our mom told me when I was talking to her one day that Z had me watch Stranger Things, and I was shocked because our mom's a chicken, right? She gets scared so easily. So I really kudos to you that you managed to convince her to watch a show that she would generally never pick up, and also has not picked up after episode 1.
Yeah, she got too scared in episode 1 to go back for episode 2.
Yep, she got really scared. But I completely agree that it's important for us to learn about the global scene, like learn about cultures that are not just us. I feel it's important.
The Office is a good show. I think The Office US. Why am I recommending shows to you? You already know. You're here. Oh my god. Watch whatever. Go watch.
So if you guys have any recommendations for any great shows to force our parents to watch, to give them like a sneak peek on culture outside India, so that they can learn about things like proms. Like it's a concept that none of us had ever heard of until we started watching shows from the US or movies, anything like that. So yeah, let us know.
Yeah, please leave a comment if you have suggestions like that. Also, let us know what is something that you try to teach your parents, or something that you want to try to teach your parents. Things like that could be helpful to us, could be helpful to other people in the comment section. And we actually have like a couple of suggestions of some things that you could try with your parents. Board games is a big one. Afreen was the one to introduce my family to board games, so maybe she could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think a lot of us view board games as something for kids. Like we have played growing up. We played Ludo and Snakes and Ladders and Business, as Monopoly is called in India. But as we start growing up through school and college, it's something that we completely stopped playing. And then when I moved here at our workplace, I work at Amazon for context, here in Seattle. So yeah, in my workplace, someone had us play Settlers of Catan, which is, if you guys haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It is a little bit complex when you start reading the rules. I'm sure you can find videos online that will teach you the rules a lot better than trying to read the thick book that comes with Settlers of Catan. But I promise you, it's very intuitive. You pick it up very quickly. The rules do sound like, oh my god, there are so many, but they're really easy to pick up and really easy to play. It's a lot of fun. Like I don't know if you know, the last time I visited mom and dad in Nigeria, we played like 3 games of Catan a day. Like we played it quickly and fast, and we just kept playing, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So definitely, board games is something that I've tried teaching my parents. And again, in that Instagram survey, there were a lot of answers that were related to board games. Someone mentioned Jenga, teaching our parents Jenga. Yeah, I feel like with our mom especially, we have an easier time trying to convince her to learn a new board game, because I think for parents, they see it as a bonding activity. Like for me, I enjoy board games, so I love buying new board games, trying out new board games. I play the board games for the experience of playing the board games themselves. But for I think our parents, or it becomes a thing like, oh, this is a good thing. If I learn it, I get to play and spend time with my kids. So highly recommend it as a family activity. It's a lot of fun. Settlers of Catan is a good one to start with. Another good one is Ticket to Ride. It's available in India. Yeah. And if you guys have any recommendations of some board games we should try, do let us know. And I think the thing with board games, there's an issue of sometimes you have to be in the same room for most of these games. Which is tough when you're all in different countries. Like Zeeshan is in India, I'm in the US, our parents are in Nigeria. So Zeeshan has some nicer recommendations for things you could do when you're not in the same place.
I don't know about nicer, but Carom Pool is a game that I've discovered on app recently, and it seems to be quite popular with our mom, our uncle, our cousin. Like, because Carom was like a popular game in India while we were growing up. It's still quite a popular game. A lot of people play it, and the mobile version of it is quite fun. You can play it with friends. There's mobile table tennis, there's mobile tennis, and then there's Ludo King, and then there's this really cool one that I like. It's that I play a lot, Among Us. It's like that. Have you ever played that party game Murder, where you have to like wink at someone and kill them, and like everyone tries to figure out who the killer is amongst the group and things like that? Among Us is a little bit like that. It's called Mafia, right? Or
yeah, it's called Mafia.
Yeah,
it's
Mafia. Yeah, it's like that party game Mafia. And I play Tuber Simulator. You won't like it. It's only for really cool people. So basically, mobile games. Try out like interactive mobile games with your parents. They might like some of them.
Yeah, definitely. So Zeeshan is the one who turned our mom onto Carom Disc Pool, and then she turned me onto Carom Disc Pool. I'm really horrible at it. Zeeshan destroys us every time we play with him. But it's a lot of fun. Another, like you said, is Ludo King. I've played that a couple of times. That's also fun. But I think that's already really popular in India. So, and once again, if you guys have any recommendations for games that we can play across borders with our families, please do let us know.
Also, I do want to mention the TV shows thing again. I think TV shows are a great way to introduce your parents to something new. And then TV shows can lead to other things, like if your parents get interested in a particular kind of TV shows, it might get them interested in other TV shows, and they could end up learning about a whole different type of art, and it might expand their horizons about like what kinds of things they like doing on the internet.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about in this podcast?
I don't think so. Shall we tell them a little bit about the next one?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the next episode, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into the psychology of like, passing on wisdom to our parents, why we want to do that, how we could potentially do that. Afreen and I will be sharing some of our insights from some of the things that we've tried. But her and I really happen to think that there's like a sort of new age wisdom that us that have grown up in a more globalized world had more of an exposure to than our parents did. And I think it's possible to pass some of those wisdoms on to them.
Yep, you summed it up well. This was again like a few of the answers that I received over Instagram also aligned with this thinking of ours, where just because of the exposure we had and our parents didn't, we seem to have a lot more sensitivity towards cultures and people that aren't us. So these are then some things that I think most of us, again, I received lots of answers along these lines of I try to teach my parents to be more culturally sensitive, right? So it's interesting. Do let us know if you guys have the same experience, and maybe we can look at those comments and talk about them in the next episode too.
Cool. All right. Bye bye.
Until then, bye guys. Take care.